Have you ever wondered why some people just can't seem to move on from a traumatic experience? It's not because they're weak, and it's not because they just need to get over it. Trauma is a horrifying experience that can leave you feeling like your life is over. But what if I told you that there's a treatment that can help you not only remember the trauma, but also find peace with it? In this video, Bessel van der Kolk, a leading expert on trauma, discusses EMDR, a controversial but effective treatment for trauma. So buckle up, because we're about to dive into the world of trauma and see how EMDR can help you heal. Let's dive in. Bessel van der Kolk will explain the role of EMDR in treating traumatic experience, and don't forget to subscribe to Inside Serene, your mental fitness channel.
It's important to think about the nature of trauma. And trauma is not some unpleasant thing that happens to people. Unpleasant things happen all the time, and we're actually quite well equipped to deal with unpleasant things. Trauma is something horrendous, something that makes you stare with horror. Trauma is about horror, something that you stare in the face and it's too much. You cannot possibly imagine what you can do, and you think your life is over. An experience like that is an experience you don't want to remember. And so at the core of trauma is this need to push it away and to try not to remember it. Trauma treatment is about making it safe for people to remember, making it safe for people to stare reality in the face. Having post-traumatic stress reactions is about being unable to face the truth. And so at the end, exposure treatment is important, but not blasting people with the memory of the trauma and confronting them with it, because that is traumatizing for them again. Now, we need to make it safe for people to observe what happened back then without them becoming freaked out and overwhelmed by remembering. So our job as clinicians to make it safe for people to remember what happened to them back then, and for them to come to the conclusion, yes, this happened to me, it was terrible, but it happened a long time ago.
Imagine Sarah struggling with the aftermath of a car accident. She seeks help from a therapist, and this is how the conversation might transpire. This is Sarah's experience, while acknowledging the therapy approach is informed by experts like Bessel van der Kolk. Hi Sarah, welcome back. You mentioned feeling overwhelmed by memories of the accident. Can you tell me a little about them?
It's flashes mostly. Seeing the headlights before impact, the screech of metal, I feel like I'm back there every time.
It sounds terrifying. Trauma can be like that. It throws everything into chaos. Our goal isn't to erase the memory, but to help you process it in a safe way. We can use techniques like exposure therapy, where you'll gradually confront these memories in a controlled environment. This can help you detach the emotional pain from the event.
But won't it just make me relive it all over again?
That's a natural fear, but by talking about it in a safe space and using techniques to manage your emotions, you can gain control over the memories. They won't control you anymore.
I'm scared, but maybe I'm ready to try.
Trauma is more than just an unpleasant memory. It's a physiological and psychological response to a horrific event. The brain's natural reaction is to push away the memory, but this can lead to long-term issues. Exposure therapy and creating a safe space for memory retrieval are key to processing trauma in a healthy way.
And that's the core skill of becoming a trauma therapist, is the capacity to help people to safely remember. The first modality that taught me that it's possible to help people to feel safe was EMDR. And for me, EMDR is an indispensable modality of treatment. If I could not do EMDR, I don't think I could be a good trauma therapist anymore. That may not be universally true. I believe if you're a very good body-oriented therapist, as Peter Levine or Pat Ogden or some other people teach, you can probably process trauma as well through those modalities as you might do it for EMDR. I also suspect that if you are a very good hypnosis expert, that you might be able to help people to come to a very safe place where they can actually observe what happened. But for me, EMDR has always been a very important part. And so with EMDR, you can allow people to go to a place where they become quite agitated. An example I have in my book, but I have so many examples. Now, let me give you an example from my recent practice.
Here's a more detailed explanation of EMDR for trauma therapists, using simpler terms. EMDR, unlocking the power of processing. Trauma can feel like a heavy weight you can't escape. Therapists use many tools to help people heal. And EMDR, eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing is a powerful one, especially for trauma. Here's why EMDR is so helpful. Feeling safe. First, imagine a scary movie. You wouldn't watch it alone in a dark basement, right? EMDR helps create a safe environment for people to confront their trauma. It's like watching that scary movie with a trusted friend who can help you process it. Beyond talking about trauma can be tough. EMDR uses other techniques alongside talking, like following the therapist's finger movements with your eyes or tapping your hands gently. These techniques can help unlock and process the emotional pain trapped within the memories. Think of it like this. Imagine a locked box containing a painful memory. Talking about the memory is like looking at the box from the outside. EMDR is like finding the key to unlock the box. By using eye movements or other techniques while revisiting the memory in a safe space, people can finally deal with the emotions trapped inside. They can start to see the memory differently and detach the negative feelings from it. EMDR isn't magic, but it's a powerful tool that trauma therapists can use to help people unlock the healing process. It's like giving them the key to move on from the pain of the past.
A guy came to see me from a local school here in Boston, where we have so many schools, who was crushed in a car accident. He was riding his bike and a car came from the side road, drove over him, hit him as he was riding his bike, and dragged him along, and the driver of the car was unaware that somebody was being dragged underneath her car. And in the process of being dragged, he lost most of a leg. A terrible thing. He walks into my office in crutches, looking terribly distraught. He's an athlete, and I feel like, oh my God, there's probably nothing I can do for this man because it's so horrible. But, you know, I've done this EMDR research that shows that 80% of people with that condition get better in between 3 and 8 sessions. And so I have this data somewhere in the back of my mind, even though as a person, I can't imagine how this guy can ever overcome the horrors of that memory of what happened to him and basically the loss of his leg. And so I say, somewhat despairing in a way myself, let's do some EMDR. And we start doing EMDR, and I'll talk more about EMDR in the course itself. And as we do the EMDR, he at some point starts smiling. And I say, what do you get now? He says, you know, I was so strong. I was being dragged underneath that car, but I could hold on to the chassis of the car as I was dragged along. And if I'd let go, the wheels of this car would have driven over me. But look what a strong guy I am. And he recalled how powerful he was. So he himself came up with this image of power. Didn't come from me. His own brain was able to generate it. And that's what you see all the time in these good treatments, is that you liberate the healing power of people's own minds and own brains.
The brain's hidden strength, healing from within. Our minds are incredibly powerful. They not only store memories, but also have the potential to heal from trauma. EMDR therapy taps into this natural ability to promote healing. Think of it like this. Imagine injuring your leg. Your body has a built-in healing system that kicks in to mend the broken bone. EMDR therapy is similar. It helps unlock the brain's own healing power to deal with emotional wounds caused by trauma. You might have heard stories of people surviving accidents by sheer will. This will to live is a testament to the mind's incredible ability to promote healing, even in physical ways. EMDR empowers people in two key ways. Finding inner solutions. Unlike some therapies that tell you what to think or feel, EMDR guides you to access your own inner resources for healing. It helps you find your own solutions to process difficult memories, unleashing creative forces. Trauma can feel like a prison for the mind. EMDR can help people break free from those limitations. It can be like unlocking a dam of creativity and positive thinking, allowing people to move forward in a healthier way. By helping people process and release negative memories, EMDR can have a profound impact on their lives.
And so I go on with the EMDR, and again, a little while later, he smiles again, and has sort of joy in his face, and he says, you know, I'll never play sports again because this leg is basically gone for me. But you know, that leg saved my life, because if that leg hadn't sort of held on, my pelvis would have dragged along the floor, and my pelvis would have been destroyed, and I would be dead by now. So I'm really very grateful for that leg, for sacrificing itself so I could be alive. You know, that stuff we cannot make up for other people. And so EMDR was able to liberate these creative forces in people's minds. And this is what we see in other treatments also, is that people come up with their own solutions. And all that we do is we're technically proficient enough to help people to find those solutions. So think about the impact that EMDR and helping people to just let their memories dissipate and become memories of something bad in the past, what that would do for your practice.
If you're struggling with the aftermath of a traumatic experience, you're not alone. Millions of people carry the weight of those memories, but there's good news. Healing is possible. EMDR therapy offers a powerful tool to help you process those experiences in a safe and controlled way. Imagine letting go of the fear and pain that's been holding you back. With EMDR, you can begin to see those memories differently, detaching the negative emotions and reclaiming your sense of peace. Remember, you have the strength to overcome this. Take the first step towards healing today. You deserve to feel safe and whole again. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Remember, healing is power.